Hello and welcome back to VHawks podcast. I'm Tyler. That's Matt. And we got free agency part two. Still some people out there, but our teams are continuing to move. The Vikings still have like 30 to $32 million in cap space. Where's it gonna go? We still
Probably
got a
nowhere.
few weeks. I mean, honestly, it's probably just gonna be restructuring. You
Because
might
like,
guess.
who else is out there really right now?
No clue. So
Um,
a bunch of free agents, edge rushers, I believe, but they're a little pricey, and we have a deep class there.
and Aaron
But
Rodgers, and Russell
yeah,
Wilson.
yeah. I don't think I want to. I'll take Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, Ryan Tannehill. Honestly, I think all of those would be better than Rodgers.
I
Russell
just don't know
Wilson,
why you would want him as a backup. Is my issue.
why who?
Rodgers.
He's not going to play as a backup. He won't sign if he's going to be a backup. Would be my guess. So hence why I don't want him. Also, I mean, even if like we were fine with him being a backup, I don't think I'd even want him because all the drama. We don't need it. We had that with Stephon Diggs the last year he was here. And it's like, we're done now. It's been a nice, peaceful transition.
Chubb's a
Anyway,
free
all right.
agent.
Well, huh?
Nick Chubb's a free agent.
Yeah, we could bring in Nick Chubb, have a deep running back class for us. Even
I
though
did
the
not
draft
realize he
is
was a free agent.
even though like this is the best running back class ever, we could just sign Nick Chubb, have Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Nick Chubb, bring it all in. You know, if we can't punch it in with those three guys, it's just not meant to be.
Well, it depends if two of
Or
those guys can stay healthy.
yeah, it's true, but that's why we have three. Probably still snatch a guy in the draft too.
Darius Smith is still out there. Justin
Yep.
Simmons, Dobbins, Wilson, Campbell, Diggs, Rogers, Asante Samuel, Amari Cooper,
Mhm.
Stephon Gilmore, Kaiser White, Rasul Douglas, Elijah Moore, Brandon Sheriff, Keenan Allen, Julian Blackman, Tyron Smith, Mike Hilton, Jared Wills, and Nick Chubb is the from those top 101 free agents left.
Gotcha. Yeah. I could see the Vikings going out and signing a Keenan Allen or a bunch of DBs, like whoever's left in the DB room. I could see them going for a bunch of those. Another guard, there's positions. The good thing is right as of right now, the Vikings don't have any like glaring need going into the draft. Our biggest two holes are QB2 and tight end three. So, and if those are the things you're worried about going into the draft, you're sitting pretty. So, and we'll probably have the QB2 situation figured out once, what is it, this week passes, and then you won't count against the comp picks. I
I'm
think
not
that's
sure
what it
about
is.
that, but
Anyway, whenever the counting against the comp picks time period is over, we're gonna sign Joe Flacco or Ryan Tannehill, and then that is my guess. So
did you see the notification or the ESPN notification that they have still not told him JJ McCarthy he's going to start next year?
yeah, he's on K Adams up in Adams, saying that. So he shouldn't be giving it is what he was saying, and I'm like, I mean that's a good mindset to have, but he's the starter, so
I just
it's
don't know
just
who you would bring in that.
would
One,
start
if you
over
weren't going to start him, you should have kept Sam Darnold.
exactly.
Two, like at some point you gotta put him in to see what you have.
Mhm. Highest drafted quarterback in franchise history for a reason. Kevin O'Connell loves him. He's ready to play. He talked about how his surgeries went really well and that he's feeling 100%. He was apparently up everybody's you know what for game game time, even up Flores's you know what to go against the defense. Because if you can go against Flores's defense, you can go against any other defense in the league. So, I mean, I think he's ready. I don't think there should be any controversy there. I think it's probably just out there to try and like mess around with free agents, kind of like not know what the Vikings' next move is, and then bam, we sign somebody. So I don't know, a little bit of money ball.
And then you have Jameis Winston signed with the Giants. Reportedly, they're still looking for a quarterback, and it's either not going to change their options to get a quarterback in free agency or go after quarterback in the draft. I probably
Yeah.
see they're at what, three in the draft, so they're
Yep.
probably going to go for either Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders with three. Um, Cam Ward's been linked to the Titans. I think just today they announced that they were having another workout with him, an additional one.
Yeah.
So it seems like either they will get Cam Ward at one or they're probably going to trade back. It depends on how well they feel about him. Um,
Yeah. Cam Ward's also been linked to like the first quarterback taken by a lot of
yeah.
analysts. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. So,
Which when we
but
do
yeah, not
our
not a big QB class.
yeah, when we do our draft coverage in April, I'll say my feelings about those two specifically. Um,
We're just gonna do coverage on the first round, right?
yeah,
Unless the Vikings trade their first round pick for another second or something.
for like doing like a mock draft or anything, it's probably just gonna be first round.
Yeah.
That's kind of about it. But like the quarterbacks, even if we don't think they're all going to go, we might talk about them, but that's kind of it. Um, but yeah, what else been going on? The quarterback that shall not be named still can't decide where he wants to go. He met with the Steelers. Apparently that went well.
Yep.
Apparently, quote unquote. Um, Russ is still sitting there just waiting for something to happen. Um, I guess we'll talk
See,
about our
my
teams and then.
if the Steelers wanted to sign Russ, it would be done by now.
Well, they want Rodgers. That's the thing. Rodgers is. It was Fields is their first pick. Rodgers is the second. Russ is the third.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the MVPs in the past, yeah, they're nice. The One Ring a decade ago, that was nice. Over a decade. I don't even know. It was at least a decade ago. It was nice, but like, dude has not played well. I don't know why you take him over
Go look
Russell
back
Wilson.
at the last few games of last season. He actually did start playing well.
Well,
While Russ was going down, even though the Jets weren't in a playoff position, the Jets were winning games and were being competitive in those games.
yeah,
So
well,
they were seeing Rodgers coming back up while Russ
the
was
upside. Yeah.
flatlining. Um, Now, if like the way Russ started out with the Steelers last season, where they won those several games in a row and he was still playing of that level, but they were losing games, might be different, but he
Yeah.
wasn't playing that well in those losses either. So, um, just one of those things that we'll see what happens. The Giants are still linked to whoever one of those two don't get picked by the Steelers,
Yeah.
potentially the Browns, maybe Vikings with Russell Wilson to bring in a veteran. Um, because
Possible.
like depending on his market, you might be able to be at the point of, do you want to be on the team? Here's a couple $1 billion. Go sit with JJ McCarthy and teach him. Um,
Yeah. And that's why I think we're gonna get Joe Flacco, or Ryan Tannehill. Even though Ryan Tannehill a few years ago was like, I'm not sitting here to mentor anybody. But I mean, maybe he's changed his mind by now.
a lot of
But I
veteran
think what's gonna
quarterbacks
happen
say
with
that.
either two of the three quarterbacks we've been naming, like Wentz, Rodgers, and Russ, I think at least one of those guys, if not two, are not going to sign anywhere, and they're just going to wait for the first quarterback to suck or get injured next season, and then they're going to be like, "Hey, I'm open. Come get me." So
I don't see a scenario where Rodgers isn't signed just because he would want to be on that. Now, is he going to wait as long as possible to sign? Yes.
yeah,
But I don't think it's Rodgers. And then once the Rodgers domino falls, the Russ domino will probably fall as well. And we'll probably
if
see,
if Rodgers goes to the Steelers, I don't think Russ signs. I think he waits.
well, he's had communications with the Browns and the Giants, so that would probably be his backup plan. I, I'm just saying what the reporting's
Again,
saying.
the reporters gotta like put some stories out there, but man, I
Well, no,
don't.
they had like actual meetings with the two. With
Yeah, I mean, you got to bring the guys in. If there's a lot of money involved, I think Russ goes. But the dude is nearing the end of his career. I don't think he wants to finish it with the Browns or the Giants.
Probably not, but if you want to play, you want to play.
Yeah, true.
Um, and especially Deshaun Watson's capabilities of availability,
Yeah,
Russ might actually get some good playing time next year if it's just him and Deshaun.
and
Um,
and then if they sign Russ, they'll have two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks on the roster.
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot Kenny Pickett's there now too.
Yep,
Um,
Super Bowl winning Kenny Pickett.
so do you want to go ahead and talk about our teams? Because I think we're pretty much
Sure.
wrapped up on everything else. Oh,
All
other
right.
than Micah Parkins. Okay, what the hell? Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence getting into some shit. Um,
Yeah, that was funny.
I don't see where he said any lies.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, if you're listening to this, which you're not, because I don't think you're our one viewer, but Uh, if you're listening to this, in order to make your comment viable, you have to win a Super Bowl this year. And I know you guys say that every year, but
Yeah.
this time you actually have to do it.
And with
Otherwise,
that
your
roster gone
credibility
open,
gone. Huh?
if they win a Super Bowl this year, it's because Micah Parsons went absolutely beast mode. It's the only
Yeah.
way.
He plays both sides of the ball.
Or guy just like destroys every single offensive line in the league and just never allows anybody to score, and Dak can get at least
Facts.
3 points.
Other than us, I don't know who the Cowboys are beating this season. Because they'll beat the Vikings, but I'm not sure.
Maybe the Giants just because their offensive line is still trash.
Yeah.
Um, like they usually have pretty good success against the Viking or not the Viking. I'm sorry, the
They do have
Giants.
success against the
Well,
Vikings.
I meant to say the Giants, but I was
Um,
thinking
and
Vikings.
the Bears. They might beat the Bears.
And usually, if Dak can stay healthy, they usually have good regular season success against the Eagles. Usually, that's a 1-1 type deal, or sometimes Dallas gets both.
So
Um,
four guaranteed wins that we can think of right now. The rest need to be some upsets
maybe the
for the most part.
Commanders, but the Commanders have gotten
Yeah.
a lot better this free agency
Division
too.
rivalries,
Yeah,
it is whatever. That there we go.
but
So
yeah,
five maybe. Three division upsets, the Vikings and the Bears. Because I don't know what AFC
I don't know
conference
the
or
rest of their
what division
games
they're
right now.
playing. So
But
yeah.
being honest, I feel like Micah had to say something to defend
Yeah.
his team. So I'm not really mad about either side, but I hate when people are like, "Well, DeMarcus Lawrence didn't do anything or whatever," and he said it when he was going to. I don't care. He wasn't. It was the truth. They weren't going to win a Super Bowl. Not with that roster. Not with them paying three guys 80% of the damn salary cap.
Yeah.
Just
And,
wasn't
and
going to
one of them
happen.
being Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
He's
Um,
Kirk Cousins minus the Achilles injury.
yeah. And even Dak hasn't been able to stay healthy the past few years.
Exactly.
Um, like he wasn't going to win there. And even if it was a money thing or whatever, I don't see where DeMarcus Lawrence went wrong. But since I started DeMarcus Lawrence, I guess I'll just go through the significant additions for Seattle, and then I'll let you go since
Sounds good.
when we last recorded, you went first. Um, so we actually brought Sam Darnold some help rather than just JSN first of the world. We got MVS, which is a good veteran presence. Not expecting him to get that much playing time, but at least a good depth piece. Um, the significant wide receiver, in my opinion, Cooper Kupp, if he can stay healthy, that big if, but if he can stay healthy, I feel like he'll be a really good type or really good target for Darnold. Him and JSN or Kupp and JSN should be a good duo. And he was cheaper than what Tyler Lockett was going to be, cheaper than what DK probably was. So yeah, yeah. My throat
Two
just
viable slot options with
yeah.
JSN and Cup.
Like you could just switch them around in the slot of who wants the ball this time. All right,
Yeah.
Jason, it's your turn. All right, Cup, you go get in the slot. You go beat that man. And then Demarcus Lawrence, not really expecting much from him, just because of his injury history the past few years. Hasn't been able to really stay healthy, and other than the years before he got paid, he's kind of had a pretty decent decline, even though when you're the only one actually doing stuff on a defensive line and they can just double you or just put all the focus on you, it gets a little difficult. So, hoping with Lawrence joining our defensive line, which is usually or has turned into a pretty good unit now, the pressure will start to decrease on him, and he's not going to have to do the whole load. And just being able to bring him in and out of rotations, hopefully that can keep him healthy. Um, and then we got a few other guys, nothing big, just some depth pieces. We got an O lineman, a cornerback, another wide receiver, a safety, and a tight end, but that's kind of been it.
Solid additions. Filled some needs that you guys have.
Yeah,
So in the
yeah.
draft, I feel like you've narrowed down a few of the positions. It's just you got to hit
It's
like
just offensive
O
line.
O line, O line, O line, O line,
Every pick
all
has got
in
to be the O line, and it's not
O
going to be a fun
line.
draft, but it's a needed draft.
You're gonna get a few positions that are just gonna are gonna make you mad. Then again, what team doesn't do that? So it'd be like random pick. What do y'all like? 18 somewhere around there?
16, I think.
16? Pick 16, Seattle Seahawks select. I mean, hey, actually, would you even be mad if they selected a wide receiver at 16?
It, if the lineman had come off the board and there wasn't, if it would be a big reach to get one, I'd be fine with a wide receiver.
Hmm.
Just because MVS and Cup are up there in age. Actually, is him? I don't even know what was MVS's age.
MVS is like 28. I don't feel like he's that.
30,
He's
and
30.
he's
Interesting.
31 in October, so he's
Hmm.
getting up there a little bit. Especially, I think speed was one of his main
Oh yeah, he was a
upsides.
deep threat, huge
Um,
guy.
so we just have three deep threats. um,
Right. JSN and Cup are slot guys
I mean
for the most
speed.
part.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if Cup's still got speed, but I
That's
mean,
the issue. You have,
JSN's kind of like your all-arounder, though. I
yeah,
wouldn't say he's your deep shot guy, but
but
he
with
can.
those two
But
aging, back to what I was saying. With those two aging, if all the linemen were off the board and it would be like a big reach to get one, I'm okay with a wide receiver or maybe a defensive player, just depending on what's available at that slot.
right,
Um, it's a really heavy ups or really heavy top, or it was a top heavy wide receiver class
yeah,
where like those first few guys are going to be really good. Once you
yeah,
start getting out of those first three or four wide receivers, it's going to be a bit of a drop off. So it just depends of how the draft plays out.
yeah. The bright side for both our teams, this is a extremely loaded offensive defensive line class. So I mean, hopefully we should come away with what we need. Anyway, getting into the Vikings, we did indeed sign Will Fries and Ryan Kelly. I can't remember if I went over both of those guys last video. They kind of were like finishing up, agreeing to terms around that time. We did also get Javon Hargrave. I know I had mentioned there's a possibility of us getting him. We did sign him. So now along that defensive line, we'll have Harrison Phillips at the nose tackle. He's done pretty well, but now he'll get some help from Hargrave and Jonathan Allen in the middle. And then you got Grenard, Van Ginkel. Dallas Turner. You got some guys on the edge. This is going to be a fun defensive line to watch. You got Josh Metellus playing all 11 positions on defense. And you got Ivan Pace and Blake Cashman as your off-ball linebackers. Whoo! We're going to be after the quarterback even more than we were this season. It's going to be great. Can't wait to watch that happen. Um, After that, we did extend Harrison Smith, or he decided to stay rather, which is a big deal. He's entering year 14, I believe, which is just crazy for a safety, especially the one like he's been pretty good every single year. He's not really had like a steep decline. Like Father Time's maybe been like, we're gonna nerf you a little bit this year, little bit, but like he's still starting safety caliber. We did add some depth at tackle with Justin School. Um, and I mean, and this is another guy that Quasi is like, Mama, I can change him type player, or, injuries have hurt him, but if he can stop being injured, he is going to be a
I
good
can fix her.
player. Yeah, no. Basically, that's what we do. We did bring back Eric Wilson. He used to play for us for a few years. He's been gone for like three, I think. He's a good linebacker. Going to be good depth behind Blake Cashman and Ivan Pace if one of them goes down. I know we had Grugier Hill. He's no longer with the team anymore, but Eric Wilson should be able to step up and fill that role like Grugier Hill did. Tim Jones, another signing wide receiver, former Jaguar. I think it's more so him and Rondale Moore. The Rondale Moore is the bigger signing, obviously, with the wide receivers. But I think the important thing here is we are really going in on these special teams players. We've signed a lot of DBs and wide receivers quietly that have just performed very well on special teams. And I think that it just shows the emphasis of, okay, we've invested in both trenches and we're going after a ton of special teams guys. We are trying to win all three sides of the football. We are going all in this year. We've looked at what the Eagles did. They won in the trenches. That's how you win in winter when you're not in a dome. It's what travels anywhere you go. This is what you need to win. We're going to take that formula. We saw what Garrett Bradbury and Ed Ingram were. They sucked. We sent them away. And man, it feels good. We also got Jeff Okuda. That's another, injuries have plagued his career. He was a first round cornerback taken by the Lions. If he can stay healthy, this dude could go off. He could have a comeback player of the year type season. I'm not even joking. Assuming a quarterback does not have that type. And as of now, that's it. But like I said, we've got about 30 million in cap space, so there's could be some moves coming up or just a bunch of restructuring. With that amount of money, I mean, taking a few players, and pushing up their money to this year is definitely an option. To free up cap space for next year. We'll see what we want to do. I think either way, at this point in free agency, we just have to trust what Kwesi does because he's already knocked out pretty much every Vikings fan's expectations. So trust the process at this point, and I'm choosing to ignore all the narratives that say JJ McCarthy is not the starting quarterback. But if KOC decides to bring in someone else and start him over JJ, I'm not even going to question it because KOC can make any quarterback play. And with a good offensive line, who knows? You got a good offensive line. You got Justin Jefferson. You got TJ Hockenson. You got Jordan Addison. Except for 3 games, he's going to be suspended. Um, you've got Aaron Jones in the backfield, as well as Jordan Mason. You've got a revamped offensive line. You got Rondale Moore to be like your gadget, do it all player. You got Jalen Naylor still. Like, stop the offense. Try it.
Seattle still has 68 million in cap space.
68. Wow. Hey,
Pain,
Keenan Allen's out there for y'all too.
pain.
I mentioned that Cup could come to the Vikings. Now I mentioned Keenan Allen could come to the Vikings. You guys are going to sign Keenan Allen. You're welcome.
Oh, speaking of Cup and the Cowboys, apparently Dak Prescott wanted Cooper Cup,
Mhm.
and it was too pricey for Jerry Jones. Apparent all in, baby. All in on that bargain bin $1 million signings.
Oh my goodness. Uh, they're gonna be like, here's Micah Parsons' league-breaking contract.
Yeah.
See, we did go all in.
On three guys.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott versus the world.
You remember how bad they started off last year, especially at home, where they're just getting blown out every single game?
They had no home victories
It's
through
gonna
like
get worse.
over half the season.
It's
Oh my
gonna
goodness,
get
that was
worse.
terrible. Yeah.
It's funny, they played better when
Well, I
Dak
don't, I
Prescott
don't
was
know.
out.
When do the Vikings play the Cowboys? Because I think we have
But
them
we
in
still
Jerry
don't
World.
have the
So
rosters
exactly.
for the
I think
release.
we have them in Jerry World because I remember even though we got two very tough divisions, arguably the two toughest besides our own, which means we have all three of the toughest, in the AFC North and the NFC East. I think we got lucky in terms of who we got at home. I think we have the Eagles and the Commanders in Minnesota. So I think that's definitely lucky for us. And so yeah, if we play the Cowboys early, I'm not sure that's gonna hold up for you. Um, they just seem to have our number for whatever reason. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping we just beat those narratives to hell. So I mean, we did that with the Packers. We broke that streak of splitting every year since like 2018 or something like that to finally sweeping them. We take those.
It's funny with all the signings the Patriots did, they still have 84.2 million in cap.
There's so many guys out there as free agents, but people are just like, I don't know. But also, I mean, Nick Chubb, yeah, I feel bad for him because of like his injury history. Again, like
Yeah,
I wanted him to win comeback player of the year
bro was a
last year.
bro might have been
Amazing.
one of the best running backs in the league, and then just
Yeah.
injuries just piled up on him.
And honestly, I don't even know if he goes to a team this year, like until games start playing. Because again, like as like
Probably
as much
around
as I've said,
training camp.
offensive line and defensive line heavy draft, it's a RB heavy draft. Like there are going to be guys in the
There's
third
no
and fourth
reason.
round that are going to be first round talents.
Yeah,
It's crazy,
it's just at this point there's no reason.
yeah,
It's
and
sad,
that's
but I'm just looking at the cap space right now, and it's like the Atlanta Falcons are negative $13.2 million under the cap.
ooh.
Or I mean
That
over the cap,
reminds
the
me.
over.
Yeah, yeah, I know. This reminds me though. There is the chance that the Falcons cut Kirk Cousins. That is a possibility. Vikings QB2? Question mark. Bring him back.
Because here's the only reason I don't see that happening is because they took his bonus into the new year. If they were going to cut him, I feel like they would have done it before now.
For sure.
The more likely thing of it, rather than him getting cut, if he doesn't stay there, is him getting traded.
Yeah. And we could do that small trade for him and agree to pay like a large portion of his contract and give up like a sixth or seventh.
I just feel
So
like you would probably just prefer just to get a other quarterback because there's people out there,
exactly.
so it's not like there's nobody else.
Oh yeah, no. It's just interesting our situation because JJ's not a true rookie. Like he's going into it with only having played one preseason game, but he's had a year plus to learn the system. So whoever comes in, sure, they're going to have a ton of QB experience, but they're going to be behind learning the system. Whoever comes in, because Carson Wentz hasn't played under Kevin O'Connell or Sean McVay. Russell Wilson hasn't played under either of those. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played under either of those. Ryan Tannehill hasn't played under either of those. Joe Flacco hasn't played any of those. But there would be that cool thing with Flacco because when we played the Colts, they went up to each other and they're like, "Hey, we were playing at the same time. Still got your rookie card or whatever, all that type of stuff." So that would be kind of a funny reunion. But still, none of the quarterbacks have played in that West Coast style offense. So
Which is kind of the reason why, other than Sam Darnold's price tag, which the Vikings probably didn't want to pay him that much, if you weren't going to make JJ McCarthy the starter, you should have just kept Sam Darnold. He knew the
yeah,
system. He has that chemistry with Justin Jefferson, Addison. getting there with Hawkinson, with him only getting there what halfway through the year because of his
Yep.
injury. Like there would just be no reason to not have JJ McCarthy start
Yep.
and release Sam Darnold. Like it just you didn't release him, but you let him go is what I'm trying to say.
And that's why I didn't really believe any of these narratives that were coming out of like, oh, the Vikings are going to start Aaron Rodgers to complete the saga or whatever. And I'm just like, we let Sam Darnold walk. But we're not signing any. It's JJ McCarthy's team, especially once we started doing all the signings that we did. Because Sam Darnold was one of the first things that happened in free agency. Then we started buckling down and buying all these pieces for our team. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're definitely not going for a quarterback.
Because the only reason I would see something changes is if he gets the training camp and he's a little iffy on the. I don't
Mm.
know where his injury is right now. Um,
He's 100%.
okay,
Reports say.
so the
So
only reason would be if he's in danger of being injured again or just something isn't right. But if
yeah,
he's 100%, then I see no reason unless he gets to training camp and just sucks. Only way.
right. Yeah. I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will happen. So we'll see. But honestly, like if he can't succeed in that system, he's not meant to succeed. And that's the only thing I can say. But watching his college ball, like sure, you can call him a handoff merchant all you want if that's, what you saw out of
Well, that's
that,
what
but
your team
watch
needs, though.
watch his highlights. Like Michigan was winning running the ball. That was Harbaugh's offense.
Yeah.
The Chargers just made the playoffs. So I mean, Justin
After we were
Herbert,
shitting on them
are
all
you
year.
yeah, are you going to call Justin Herbert a handoff merchant after all he's done throughout his career?
Well,
No,
with how
you're
he
not.
looks in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, well, but no, they put up what 34 points against the Jags and then just crapped it all to hell.
Oh no, I was meaning against the Texans where he just threw 5 picks.
Oh yeah, which was more than he did all season.
Yeah.
So,
And it was
I
when he
mean,
had to throw the football. Ain't that?
yeah.
But
But
it's
before
also they
that
just don't
though,
have the weapons. So,
yeah, they traded away all his weapons, but
yeah,
when he had the weapons, he was
he was
airing
fine.
it out.
Yeah.
He was doing a good job. That's what I mean is like JJ McCarthy will now be in a situation where he has all the weapons.
There
It's
is no
not going to be,
excuses.
yeah, and we're not a run first team, which hopefully we could be, but it's not going to be like Michigan where we're just running the ball and that's going to win.
Especially in the
So,
NFL, like, yes, the Chargers got to the playoffs, but you're not going to be able to run the whole game in the playoffs.
mhm,
You're going to need to be able to score points, especially in a shootout.
yeah,
So, and especially when they say, we're going to stop the run, you're going to have to beat us through the air. What's
exactly.
JJ
The
McCarthy
Vikings are
going to
going to
do?
be the opposite. They're going to be like, we're going to stop you in the air. You have to beat us on the ground because Kevin O'Connell gets way too pass happy. That's kind of how it's been for the past couple years. So we'll see if Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and whoever else we get um, can change that.
No.
Because if we can start setting the tone and try to be like at least run half the time first offense instead of just a pass first offense, this team could be even more dangerous. Because if we can pick up the needed yardage when we have to have it instead of getting stopped and deciding whether to go for it or not, more possibilities.
It's all just going to come down to how that offensive line comes together. Like,
True,
if it all comes
true.
together, you're going to be fine. If
Hmm.
it takes a while and then you kind of have to be like, we want to give it a shot, but it's just not working, then running the ball is going to be difficult. First part of the season, you're just going to get into we got to throw the ball, and you probably get to the point of it's what works. We can't go away from it, and
Yeah,
you just get into a
it really is.
situation where you're throwing the ball the whole time. I don't see JJ McCarthy making dumb mistakes, but
I hope
it's
not. Yeah,
like defensive players just like learn.
yeah,
They'll see the tape, they see his tendencies, they'll know where he wants to throw, and they'll start jumping some of those routes, and issues will be made of it. So
yeah.
if the
And
offensive
I
line
think,
can come together, then you'll be fine.
yeah. Given the last two games too, where they just blitzed the bejesus out of Sam Darnold
Yeah,
because our offensive line couldn't win against their regular guys, let alone like bring in the extra pressure.
yeah.
I think that JJ McCarthy is going to be able to actually find the quick routes. And when teams start to do that to us again, they're going to start regretting it because we're going to have something planned for it. And part of that is we're going to get Christian Darrisaw back. So we're going to get back to having the best uh, tackle duo in the league,
Yeah.
arguably, but one of the best left tackles in the game.
And your center's not
Um,
going to be thrown on his ass every play.
exactly. No respect to NC State, the red hat in the back. But like Gary Bradbury was not it, and I just don't like that it took 5, 6 years to get rid of him. But um,
Sometimes you put the capital in him and you don't want to let it go
yeah.
because you just
But
don't
the
have the
sig- like
ability.
the tackles though, we got it, and we got two guys who have worked together for a long time from the Colts with Ryan Kelly and Will Fry.
Yes.
So it's like they've got the connection from center and right guard. So that's going to be great. Brian O'Neill's going to be right tackle. That's going to be a good thing. You've got left tackle solidified with Darisaw, our best offensive lineman. So like you've got good spots. Everybody else should be competing for that left guard spot. I want the best guy that we have at left guard. Whether that's Reisner, if we decide to bring him back, I think he's also a free agent. Brandl's currently penciled in to be the starter. We've also got Walter Rouse as another left guard who's going to be competing. Like we've got guys and we've got depth at the offensive line. It's who is going to play left guard? That is the question. So, that I think I'm very excited for this offense, but man, I don't know why. Just signing two guys for the defensive line is like this is going to change our defense completely because we have had like no interior pass rush. Last year was the first time we had interior run defense. We weren't the Packers last year. We stopped the run. But the problem was
You mean the Cowboys?
we couldn't get to the quarterback. If it
Yeah.
wasn't a blitz or Gennard or Van Ginkel getting there, we couldn't get the quarterback. Now we got Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave who can help out, and I'm like, yeah, let's go.
That's why I'm excited for Seattle's defensive line next year. Just having DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Murphy,
Hmm.
and
All stacked
Mafe,
up. Yeah,
brother. Like, who do you focus on? Like,
exactly.
are you going to focus on Mafe? All right, Leonard Williams and Murphy are coming up the middle to destroy you.
Hmm.
Oh, you're going to block the right side? Oh, Lawrence is coming around after you, too. So I'm excited for our defensive line. Offensive line still needs some work, but we're starting. The rosters are starting to come together, and
Yeah,
hopefully in the draft we can capitalize. Players fall to where we need them to be, and we'll be looking good for 2025.
there we go. And that's where we want to be. That's where we were hoping we'd be at the point of this free agency. And I mean, going to the draft, like again, I don't really need to start looking into prospects. Because I'm happy whatever the Vikings do. If they want to trade back, cool. If they want to pick BPA at 24 and throughout the rest of the draft, I don't care. We're good. Assuming we sign a QB2,
Yeah,
we're good. Because like, sure, we could take a quarterback in like the third or fourth round and
yeah.
just have another rookie behind. Which I mean, I honestly wouldn't care. KOC is the quarterback whisperer. We don't that there's no need to be angry about that.
Because most of these
Um,
prospects are multiple year college starters, so it's not like you're getting somebody who doesn't
doesn't
have
hasn't
actual
played.
experience. Like if Milrow
Exactly.
can fall back to like the third round, I don't see that happening. Um, but like if you can pick up Milrow, like that's a
Yeah.
great backup for you.
Exactly. But I mean, like the only person I've looked at is the tight end from Michigan who is projected to go late in the first. And I'm like, if he's available, let's go ahead
Him
and
and
take him since
Hawkinson, shit.
since McCarthy has that and Oliver, the
Yeah.
best blocking tight end in the league. We have Josh Oliver, who's becoming a better pass catcher each year he's been with the Vikings. So it's like
Is
the
that Penn
three of
State
them in the
tight end
middle.
going to be in the draft?
Ooh. Huh?
Is that Penn State tight end going to be in the draft?
I think there's a few tight ends supposed to be taken before him. Um, Actually, you know what? I did have it up. Let me just do a simulator real quick because I'm curious. Number of rounds, one fast. Enter draft room. See, tight end.
Because if
Yes,
you
the
can't get the
Tyler
Michigan
Tyler
tight
Warren
ends,
Tyler Warren from Penn State is projected to be the 10th overall pick.
okay, never mind. You're not
Um,
gonna be able to get them then,
and so
unless.
Colston Loveland is projected to be the 19th from, and that's the Michigan tight end.
Yeah.
So will he fall to 24? I don't know, but it's possible.
So who
And
knows?
then the
There's been
next
surprises
ones,
every single draft the past
yeah,
few years. So
the next ones are in the late 50s, early
yeah.
60s. There you got three guys, 56, 59, 64, and then it drops to 100 plus. So I mean, I think if we don't get Loveland in the late first, I think we go tight end round three,
Yeah.
or late round two if we trade up. It really depends on what happens with pick 24. I think we're trading back. I think that's what I want them to do just to get a few more picks. But if there's a great guy there at 24, again, like I can't be unhappy. I have to trust Quasey. Whoever we
And
don't
I was
get, we're
looking
just gonna
back
draft
at
an unbelievable UDFA. We're gonna find him off the street, and he's gonna be an amazing player.
the Titans reporting, and they're liking Cam Ward more, and they several sources from teams have announced or have said that the Titans are now wanting a larger haul for that first pick. So unless somebody gives them the mother load, Cam Ward's probably a Titan.
Yeah. And again, like I mean, I don't know if you give up the mother load to go get Travis Hunter. Like, because I don't think I mean, the Giants going from 3 to 1, that's probably not gonna have to be the mother load. But I mean, because
The
the only
question
teams
is, are
going
they
for him
getting
are
Sanders or
gonna want the
Cam Ward?
quarterback, or they're gonna want the best player, not the best non QB. And I'm trying to think of what team is gonna try and trade up for
Because it's what
Travis
the Raiders
Hunter
at
or
two.
something like that. Yeah,
The only reason the Giants would trade up to one is because if they want Cam Ward.
yeah. But
If
it's not gonna cost them a mother load though. You're
yeah.
dropping two picks. So
So I just don't know if the Titans would do that and if they feel that strongly about Cam Ward.
mm,
I don't see them going back two picks and then just getting Sanders.
yeah, no, I don't either.
Um, and then it's forgot Raiders at two.
Yeah.
They're probably going to get Travis Hunter. I don't see them getting Carter from it was
Or
a Penn
sorry,
State.
we've been at this. Raiders are six. The Browns are two.
Oh, Browns
I,
are two. Okay, that's
Browns are two. Hmm. So the Raiders could make that jump. I
yeah.
mean, it's possible. Patriots are at four, but they've got Drake May. They're fine. Jaguars are at five. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the guy, but
He
the
just
Jets
signed a
are at
contract
seven.
though. They're not going to drop off of
Yeah, I
him.
know, but that's one of the biggest mistakes too, in my opinion. But let me just see. I'm gonna start the clock. Who picks who? I've got the Seattle Seahawks and the Vikings. Uh, I'm gonna reject trades for this just to act like we're doing this. Y'all got like five trade offers, but we're rejecting them. Um, let's see. You've got both tight ends are still available. You got a wide receiver, Paratoa McMillan from Arizona.
Uh,
You've got some edge, cornerback. What do you want to pick?
let's just go for
I can do
if
any
Warren's
position.
still there, I'll take Warren just to get
All
another
right.
tight end.
Yep. Ooh, Colston Loveland's available for us. Perfect. We each got tight end. And the one that's been skipped out on is Michael Williams, from Georgia, edge rusher, projected to be
Really?
15.
Okay.
So very interesting. But yeah, in that simulation, Loveland fell to 24. Now grant again, like we did, this is simulator, so obviously you never know. But it's possible that guys are going to fall, and it always happens too.
We never thought the
So
Lions and the Falcons would pick running backs where they did. We didn't think Falcons would get Penix, so
Jameer Gibbs, man, that hurts. I'm gonna say this not to be mean to the other player. Jameer Gibbs is the next Saquon Barkley. He may even be better.
oh no, he's definitely better than
Yeah.
what's his name? Robinson?
Oh, dude, Robinson's not in the conversation. I'm saying by the time both their careers are over, Saquon Barkley and Jameer
Oh,
Gibbs will be high and far the better running back. Now, granted, injuries hurt Saquon, but I think Jameer Gibbs is just all around better.
the only thing that, unless Gibbs gets to a Super Bowl and wins one,
Yeah.
Saquon having that Super Bowl run where he was that dominant on the way there, like nobody could stop in the playoffs until the Chiefs, and then
Yeah.
Chiefs got blown out. So nobody's gonna remember Saquon's throw in that Super Bowl game.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I think the Vikings went running back is because, and why teams should do that is because they had to sell out to stop the run. The Eagles were like, okay, we've got the weapons.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna
And
put
like,
10 people in the box? All right, just gonna diamond
yeah.
bag.
And then, okay, you're gonna take him out. Okay. Jalen Hurts is just gonna run on you. Like, you've got that option. But like with our offense, we're gonna pass it out. So they're okay, okay, we're gonna drop back into cover two, nickel dime coverage. It's like, okay, well, we're just gonna run it up the middle with Jordan Mason. I mean, it's going to be exciting watching our teams. It really will. I mean, you guys have a new quarterback, and we have a new. Well, both of us have new quarterbacks
Yeah.
that we have not seen play in our system. So I think it'll
And
just be
I have
interesting
a
from
new
that
wide
perspective.
receiver. We've both gotten some new defensive players. So
We might have an interior pass rush. I know I've mentioned it so many times, but I have never seen the Vikings have interior pass rush since like the first year I started watching Vikings football in 2016. Like we had the 5 game winning streak and then nothing. So, and even then, you just remember Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter just wrecking havoc on everybody 2017 and after that. So, I mean, it's not the interior guys as much, but still, like, we invested. And I've never seen a good Vikings offensive line outside the tackles. So, this is going to be, this is going to be interesting. We're
well,
excited, but we still have the draft to go. We're going to see how it goes, but I'm very excited, but I know as a Vikings fan, I should be cautiously optimistic as every year. But nah, I'm enjoying this year. Just like last year, I knew it was going to be whatever with Sam Darnold. This year, I'm like, yeah, I hope JJ McCarthy's good, but let's see some interior pass rush. Let's see JJ McCarthy have a 4 to 5 second pocket. That would be just crazy.
also another thing I forgot to say earlier, Nakua has put his death certificate on his career,
30.
30,
Yeah.
and he is done. So 7 more years
Mhm.
for the Rams until
Yeah.
they cut him and say, nah.
I mean, dude should not have announced that right now. Like he's a good guy, but like imagine you get to a point where you're trying to find another contract and you're 28 and you've already announced that you're leaving at 30. Your value just went down and by something you set 5 years ago.
Or specifically 29. Like if he gets out when he's
Yeah.
29, like
Yeah.
one, they're not going to pay you a boatload because it would just be 1 year, a 1 year contract.
Yeah. If I'm Nakua and I'm 29, I'm signing the cheapest deal I can or like the most the Super Bowl team will give me. Whatever the Super Bowl favorite is, I'm going like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you want me? Give me your best offer." And then
Imagine if he went to
take it.
Kansas City.
I mean, they need receivers. So
Well, we don't know what's
they
going to
need
be.
wide receivers that don't commit crimes. Luckily, Worthy's innocent, but Rasheed Rice and previous Chiefs receivers.
No, because how many
eh,
Chiefs fans were screaming when that Xavier Worthy news first came out? Luckily, it was just a X being like
Yeah.
Or
His
no,
girlfriend, terrible
his
story. Go
girlfriend.
go look at the story, the whole notes if you have not seen that. But everybody's quick to judge, and myself included. Like I was like, oh, holy crap, here's another Chiefs receiver doing shit. And then you go and look at the story and you're like, dang, wow, this is crazy. Like they gotta stop announcing stuff till they've got some information.
Let the investigation come out first.
Yeah.
But when that news first came out, I was like, "Oh, brother,
Yeah. That
another
we
one."
both had a reaction where we're like, we think he's probably guilty. But like that's because the investigation hasn't come out yet. They
Well,
haven't even
especially
started.
since it was starting to. I don't know what was going on in that locker room. If he actually was guilty, everybody would look at that Chiefs locker room and be like, "What the hell's going on?" Like they're having
Yeah.
as many issues as Georgia does trying to keep their players from going over 30 miles at the speed limit. Like everyone says Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. Well, bro can't keep his team from getting locked up.
Rasheed Rice and Hunter Renfro, man. Georgia's got to follow in the footsteps. Those are some of the greatest receivers ever. We got to, bro. Oh my goodness. Speed in a car versus speed on the field, completely different things.
If
Eventually, the
only
guys
Henry
will
Ruggs
realize it.
didn't end up killing somebody and basically going to jail for life.
Oh, I said Renfro. I'm so sorry. I meant Ruggs. My bad. I'm surprised you didn't even catch me. So you don't even get to make that face. Um, but no,
Brother,
yeah, I
that's
meant Ruggs.
defamation.
I meant Ruggs. I actually
That's
love Renfro.
slander.
If Renfro's still a free agent, that would be a good guy for the Vikings to pick up as well.
After you
But
just slandered this man's name,
no, I did not. I did not.
do you retract your previous statement?
I do.
Okay. There, all right.
Yeah. Because I literally just said I got his name wrong.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't retract me saying that I got his name wrong because I did. I
No,
retract the statement that
you retract that statement. No, I meant to say it was him.
no, no. I did not mean to, but it's just who came to it. Because honestly, whenever Ruggs got her, I don't even know when that was. 3 years ago?
That it was
Four
no, it
years
was
ago?
way longer.
Yeah, that's why I don't remember. That makes sense. Okay. Um. Anyway, but yeah, there's just, too
2021.
much. Yeah. Okay. So 4 years ago. But mm, there was the mind blank. Out of all the names that I've remembered, one slipped, and I just said the closest Raiders wide receiver I could think of because I knew it wasn't Jacoby Myers.
Imagine Rasheed Rice, Henry Ruggs, Antonio Brown.
In cars on the NFL field.
I'm
Reminds me
getting
of
the
the
fuck off
family,
the road. I'm driving
the
off the damn road into a tree because that's a safer
the.
place than it is on the road.
This is not. If you're under 18, do not watch this. But if there's a Family Guy clip of Peter Griffin winning the Boston Marathon, and they said, "How did you manage to win the race?" He's like, "Well, I just got in my car and drove it, and if I saw someone, I killed them." That's what I think that wide receiver core would be
Okay, but I think it's time we end this episode. We've
on the
gone
football field.
off the damn tracks,
All right.
into a damn ocean,
Yep.
into the
All right.
deepest trench.
Yeah, these are meant as jokes. The news was news. The jokes were obviously jokes. We're all good.
Obviously.
Um, yeah, we'll be back at some point, and eventually we'll do a mock draft. Somewhere close to when the draft starts. But
Probably expect in another 2 weeks we'll be back, unless like major news comes out.
yeah,
But yeah.
if Rodgers signs with the Vikings, and we have to do a video next week or the week after, I'm not. You know what? I don't know if I don't want to say anything or if I want to ask you to not say anything. I don't know what I would want more from that, but
You're not getting
I
away
don't,
from it.
I don't think it'll happen. I honestly I might just be comfortable with 1 minute of silence. with a graphic up that said that he signed or whatever, I might just be like, let's just have a minute of silence.
You can be
But
silent.
yeah,
I'm
no,
not going to be silent.
I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. So
Well, here's the thing: the Vikings have already said they're moving on.
yeah,
I don't see that happening. With him moving over to the Steelers to get into negotiations with them, I don't, unless something extreme happens,
yeah,
I don't see Rodgers being a Viking.
there we go.
Can you please look dead in the camera and say Aaron Rodgers will not be a Viking in 2025? Look straight in the camera.
We'll see. I What
Look,
if
look
JJ
straight. I,
McCarthy?
I need
No,
you to do this
no,
for me.
no. Knock on wood. What if JJ McCarthy gets injured?
Look straight in the camera for me. Aaron
I don't
Rodgers
have
will.
to follow your orders. I'll do a different version of it though. If Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers, he will not be a Minnesota Viking in 2025.
Next thing you know, he's traded.
Hey, I mean, if we're that desperate and we've won some game, like I said, knock on wood, JJ McCarthy, hopefully he does not get injured, but like say we're 5-0, he gets injured. We need somebody to come in and win us games. The Steelers are 0-5. They're not looking good whatsoever.
Though it would only
I
be
mean,
Rodgers and Rudolph, so I don't think they would trade him actually.
if they're 0-5 with Rodgers at the helm,
Well, if they don't have anybody else, like if it's only a two quarterback room, you're not going to trade one quarterback and have nobody else.
yeah,
Unless the
that's true.
Vikings have a backup where you trade them the backup.
Yeah, we got Brett Rippon. He knows the system at least. Do I think he can play? No. Do I think he can win us one or do I think do I think he can win us one or two games purely because we have great wide receivers? Yes.
No,
No, I actually do.
I
I think Brett
don't.
Rippon, if he stepped in against the right opponent, like if he stepped in against the Eagles, hell no. If he stepped in against the Giants or the Bears,
If we're talking about
I
like
think
late third quarter, partial fourth, and he just has to hang on for dear life, you'll win. If he
oh
has
yeah,
to
we
come
can
in
win a
for a
couple
full
games.
4 quarters,
Yeah.
not happening.
First full for all 4 quarters, we could win one or two games with them, assuming we play the right opponents. If it's just the fourth quarter, I think we can win three or four. I
Well, no, but yeah,
honestly
like
believe yeah.
you have enough talent on that team, and your defense is going to be good enough where you can hold on for dear life to like a 7 to 10 point lead.
Mm.
Having to go
I
for a
mean,
full game,
you look at Nick Mullins though. Nick Mullins before he was with the Vikings. And then last season, 2023, he had to come in after Josh Dobbs was forced to be a pocket passer, and that's what made him terrible. He came in and threw 400 yards damn near every game. And he did nothing before that. Like he was not good at all. And yeah, they were losses, and he threw just amount the same. He threw an even ratio of touchdowns and picks. But like putting up 400 yards is not easy. Sam Darnold did it like once or twice that last season with us. Like, granted, it doesn't mean you win the game, but like being able to put up yards on offense is going to help, especially if your defense can get the turnovers back or even score. So Van Ginkel with another few pick sixes.
okay, I think we've extended this video as long as possible.
We have. It's now
So,
time to end it. So with that, Skull.
peace.